enough sky. What am I the thorn in your eye? Too much sun and not enough sky. What am I the thorn in your eye? Too much sun and not enough sky. I've lost again, but I gotta maintain. Too much sun and not enough sky. What am I the thorn in your eye?
Hello everybody and welcome to race number 34 of Season 2 NASCAR Walmart Cup Series, as well as the 8th race in the chase. After this race, we only have 2 races to go, Homestead and Zenjoltis. But hi, I'm Levi McIntyre, aka Thrash Maniac 99, the voice of NASCAR Walmart Cup Series, here to welcome you to the UAW Dodge 400 at Kentucky Speedway. This is going to be an exciting race, and it's a daytime race here at Kentucky, not nighttime like we ran earlier in the season. So this race will be interesting since the track's probably slick due to the sun beating down on it. So it's going to be interesting to see what's going to happen. Now, the chase standings heading into the race, Gabe Williams leads by 5 points over Betty Johnson and 12 points over Mason Bromer. So all 3 of the top 3 are rookies. And then everybody from 4th on back are 30 points back or more. Some of them still have mathematical chances, but I think it is safe to say that Hunter Bell is eliminated from contention. He is about 106 points behind Gabe Williams for the points lead. The only way Hunter Bell would even be remotely in championship contention is if he won and Gabe Williams finished dead last in the next 2 races. Then in Zenjoltis, he would be battling by about, I would say, 15 points. So that's the only hope that Hunter Bell has if he's going to get back in contention. Other than that, it's pretty much impossible. So the chase points heading into the race is Gabe Williams, Betty Johnson, Mason Bromer, Charles Jackson, Austin Talley, Chase Oliver, Seth Cole, David Rivera, Joshua Collard, Parker Wright, Chris Washer, Jessica Shelton, and Hunter Bell. But folks, let's take a look at the top 10 starting lineup for today's race. Charles Jackson's on the pole. 2nd is Cody Lamas. 3rd is Parker Wright. 4th is Henrietta Fitzwater. 5th is Brody Talley. 6th is Ian Dutta. 7th is Austin Weiner. 8th is Barney Taylor. 9th is Mason Bromer. 10th is Joshua Collard. Let's look around for any chasers. As we keep looking, it looks like 17th Chase Oliver, 18th David Rivera. Then the next highest chaser is Gabe Williams. It looks like about 29th. 31st Chris Washer, 32nd Hunter Bell, 34th Betty Johnson, 35th Jessica Shelton, 37th, or actually no, make that 39th. I missed it by a couple numbers. Then Seth Cole, and then the last chaser to start is Austin Talley in dead last. But ladies and gentlemen, we are getting ready to go green for 41 laps here at Kentucky. Now the thing about Kentucky is it's a 1.5-mile track, but it's one of the slicker ones. But then again, that darker part of the track, that is where the most grip is. But if you're outside of that line, I don't know if you can make an outside line work. But here we go. Boogity, boogity, boogity. Let's go racing, boys and girls. Charles Jackson got a great jump on that start, and now he's starting to pull away for the lead. Oh man, I see they're getting pretty testy back there with Chase Oliver's one of those cars. As I see a 3-wide battle, couple of 3-wide battles. But they are still racing it rather clean, and Charles Jackson will lead lap 1 here at Kentucky. Charles Jackson's still mathematically in contention as he's only 30 points behind Gabe Williams for the points lead. I'd say if he has a good finish and Gabe Williams potentially has a bad run, along with guys like Mason Bromer and Betty Johnson, he could get back up into closer contention. And he would hope for that since there's only, after this race, only 2 races to go. Meanwhile, Parker Wright, who's another chaser, Parker Wright comes into this race 10th in the standings, about 52 back. If he can get a couple of good finishes here between here and Homestead and finish good here and at Homestead, he could get back up in the contention mathematically. Because remember, whoever's mathematically in contention by the time Homestead's over, those guys are going to duke it out for the championship in terms of mathematical point situations. While Parker Wright was trying to get to Charles Jackson, he's not being able to, and in fact, he's getting a little run from Cody Lamas, who is now about to get passed by Brody Talley, as it's double wide for this lead. Meanwhile, Henrietta Fitzwater in the 36 is lurking into this fray for this battle for the 3rd position. And then you've got Austin Weiner, who is running 6th. He's starting to move his way up through the field little by little, as he is going to try to get a run in on the 36 and the 20, but he's running up on the high line. As we go back up to the front, Charles Jackson continues to lead. Let's actually check and see how chase drivers are doing. Charles Jackson's your leader. 2nd is Parker Wright. The next highest chaser is Mason Bromer. Let's see where he's going to be scored at. 10th. 12th is Joshua Collard. 15th, Chase Oliver. Then it is David Rivera, who was scored in 23rd. And then it is Gabe Williams, 29th. Chris Washer, 32nd. 35th last scored was Betty Johnson. Last scored in 36 was Hunter Bell. 38th, Seth Cole. 39th, Jessica Shelton. 41st, Austin Talley. No chasers have wrecked, and in fact, we haven't had a caution out at all in this race. Meanwhile, Charles Jackson is just pulling away, as now Parker Wright is slowly losing ground to the 16 car. Meanwhile, the battle for 3rd is getting big time with about 7 cars for the most part, as Brody Talley's underneath of Cody Lamas, Henrietta Fitzwater, Austin Weiner. Now Ian Dutta tries making it 3 wide, but it settles back to double wide. Now, it looks like Brody Talley's going to get the 3rd spot, though. Here comes Austin Weiner. And Austin Weiner's trying to go for his 2nd win of the season and his 6th career Walmart Cup Series victory. And it is confirmed that after this season, Austin Weiner is still going to race for Penske Racing, though no longer going to be in the 12 machine. He is going to drive the number 22 car, replacing Hunter Bell, which is somewhat a smart move on the part of the 12 car, since the 22 has had the most success for Penske this season, winning 2 races and in the chase. Austin Weiner has won a race but didn't make the chase, and then the same can be said for Dylan Young, as Dylan Young's going to stay in that 2 car. Meanwhile, Brody Talley is underneath and by Parker Wright, so now that's going to open up room for Fitzwater and Weiner to go underneath of the 14. Meanwhile, Charles Jackson continues to lead the way as it's 30 to go here at Kentucky. And I'm surprised as to we have not had a caution come out during this race. Not at all. It looks like Brody Talley is actually catching the 20 or the 16. As I checked the lap comparisons, Brody Talley is running about 3/10 faster than Charles Jackson. So Brody Talley's going to try to make a run for Charles Jackson to see our first potential lead change of the race, as Brody's just inching closer and closer to that back bumper of the 16 car. Meanwhile, Parker Wright, who was second for a long time, he's now fallen back to the 6th spot from what I last saw. And Brody Talley is right there to the back bumper of the 16 of Charles Jackson. If he can make a move on the bottom here, he could get around him. He's not going for it quite yet. In fact, Brody Talley has the fastest lap of the race at the 28.023. Brody Talley's right on the back bumper of the 16 of Jackson. Meanwhile, while that's going on, that's opening up chances for Austin Weiner and Henrietta Fitzwater to come up here and make some noise and make it a 4-car battle for the lead. Brody's thinking about going to the bottom, but he's just not been able to time it properly yet. Meanwhile, here comes the 12 of Austin Weiner up here into this battle. So now all 4 of these cars are going at it for the lead potentially. Charles Jackson, Brody Talley, Austin Weiner, and Henrietta Fitzwater. But now that's kind of lowered its chances since Henrietta Fitzwater's trying to go underneath Austin Weiner, but Austin Weiner got a big run up off the high line. Brody Talley's coming to the bottom. Ran down on the apron, which is a good move for him. As we are on lap 17, this could be our first lead change, and Austin Weiner's up in here too. Brody Talley's right there underneath the 16 of Jackson. So too is the 12, but will it be enough to get cleared of the 16 car? And it looks like the 20 is going to clear Charles Jackson. So we get our first new leader of the race, Brody Talley. Former winner this season, and if I can recall, I think he is the highest rookie who is not in the chase in the point standings, and he's the 8th highest rookie in the rookie standings. Meanwhile, we got green flag pit stops taking place, and Austin Weiner stayed out, and he's going to be the new leader for the time being. I completely forgot about the chances of green flag pit stops, but since these guys pitted on the lap 18, lap 19 range, these cars may have to pit near the very end of the race depending on if a caution comes out or not. And now here comes Austin Weiner into pit road as there's some dust from maybe somebody running up against the grass coming into pit road, I would assume. Oh, Seth Cole is just spun, and then Dylan Thero, and he comes down into Austin Weiner trying to get in a stall, and there's a wreck in pit road with Seth Cole, David Rivera, a chaser, and a lot of cars getting held up like Gabe Williams, Chris Washer, and David Rivera has some damage, and Seth Cole had to teleport to pit road. But let's see what's going to happen with David Rivera. Is he going to retire? He is out. That is a tough break for the 6 car, but no caution is out. Meanwhile, I'm trying to look around to see who is the leader. Brody Talley came out first. It appeared on the first set of pit stops. He was last scored in the 13th position. Mason Bromer Ian Dutta was supposedly the leader, but I think Brody Talley is your leader once again after those pit stops. In case we don't have a caution, we're going to take a look at a replay of what happened with the 41 of Seth Cole and Dylan Thero, as well as the pit road incident that took place at the end of the race, in case a caution doesn't come out. But if a caution does come out, we'll take a look at that replay first, as well as what brought the caution out. Eric Burton is back in 39th. This isn't a battle for the lead. In fact, second place at the moment is Mason Bromer. Let's take a look and see how our field currently stands since we're still green. Brody Talley is your leader. Second is Mason Bromer. Third is Charles Jackson. Fourth is Ian Dutta. Fifth is Cody Lamas. Sixth is Theo Segal. Seventh is Parker Wright. Eighth is Alex Pedro. Ninth is Henrietta Fitzwater. 10th is Zachary Fitzwater. Let's see who is running 11th. 11th is Kyle Matthews. 12th is Ryan Anderson Jr. 13th is Austin Talley. 14th is Jecko Knight. 15th is PJ Williams. 16th is Betty Johnson. 17th is Chase Oliver. 18th Sam Young. 19th Austin Weiner, who's after getting into Dylan Farrell on pit road, he's now back in 19th. And then 20th is Alex Hawkins. 21st is Michael Norman. 22nd is Danny Wells, and then 23rd is Annie Thomas, as Ken Thero's in between. 24th is Rue McIntyre. 25th is Chris Washer. 26th is Jessica Shelton. 27th is last week's winner, Matt McIntyre. 28th is Joshua Collar. 29th is Trent Dunham. 30th is Sonny Hammond. 31st is Preston Plord. 32nd is Hunter Bell. 33rd is Gabe Williams. Not a good run for the points leader. 34th, Barney Taylor. 38th, or 35th is Eric Burton. Let's see who is 36. 36 is Dylan Thero. 37th is Ken Thero. 38th, they said was Tommy Mooney. 40th, Justin Talampas, who's 39. Well, I don't know. It's all convoluted. Let's take a look and see the list of drivers out of the race or a lap or more down. Apparently, Dylan Young is out of the race, it would seem. Let's double check to see if Dylan Young is out. Seems like another pit road incident took place, as he is out of the race. And Justin Talampas is 5 laps down, but he's still on track. Something that another pit road incident had to have happened. And then there's Seth Cole. Oh, wrong button. Seth Cole's back out onto the racetrack. Could that be potentially 2 incidents we'd have to take a look at? In case no caution comes out at the end of the race? Who knows, but Brody Talley is leading, but oh my goodness, Mason Bromer has caught the 20. Last I saw Brody Talley, he had a big lead between himself and the 11, and now all of a sudden the 11 has caught the 20. Mason Bromer is a chaser, and he's trying to go for his first win of the season and of his career, as he is one of the highest contending drivers in the chase. I'd say if he can win this race, or at least finish where he is, he could be the new points leader, since he is clearly ahead of Gabe Williams and Betty Johnson. Depending on what happens in case we have another set of green flag pit stops, we'll see what happens, as it is 12 to go here at Kentucky. Now Charles Jackson's coming back up to the front. Ian Dutta's coming along with Cody Lamas. And Mason Bromer is now your leader, as he's gotten around the 20 of Brody Talley. Gibbs' teammates battling for the lead, but Mason Bromer is now the man at the front with 11 to go at Kentucky. Let's take a look at the fastest lap list. Wow, Sonny Hammond has a fast lap. The only guy in the 27-second range, as he had a lap of a 27.975 earlier in the day. And let's take a look and see where Sonny Hammond currently runs. He is back in the 30th spot in between Trent Dunham and Preston Lord. Both of them are Earnhardt Ganassi teammates. Meanwhile, Mason Bromer's just pulling away from the rest of the cars behind him. Brody, Charles, Ian, among others. And while we're at it, let's take a look and see how the field currently runs, as it is 9 to go here at Kentucky. Mason Bromer is your leader. Second is Brody Talley. Third, potentially, third is Charles Jackson. Fourth is Ian Dutta, so Gibbs running 1, 2, and 4 at the current moment. Fifth is Cody Lamas. Sixth is Theo Stegall. Seventh is Parker Wright. Eighth is Alex Pedro. Ninth is Zachary Fitzwater. 10th is Henrietta Fitzwater. 11th is Ryan Anderson Jr. 12th is Kyle Matthews. 13th, Austin Talley. Wow, and he started dead last, and he's up to 13th. What a job by that 88 team. As he came into the race 34 points back, he could be back closer into contention depending on what happens. 14th, Jekko Knight. 15th is PJ Williams. 16th is Betty Johnson. 17th is Chase Oliver. 18th is Sam Young. 19th is Austin Weiner. 20th is Alex Hawkins. 21st is Michael Norman. 22nd is Danny Wells. 23rd is Andy Thomas. 24th is Rue McIntyre. 25th is Chris Washer. 26th is Jessica Shelton. 27th, Matt McIntyre. 28th is Joshua Collard. 29th, Sonny Hammond. 30th is Trent Dunham. 31st, Preston Lord. 32nd, Gabe Williams. 33rd, Hunter Bell. 34th, Barney Taylor. And then we've got scattered cars. And then the last car on the lead lap, it looks like, is Eric Burton in 35th. But he's got Mason Bromer right behind him. And it's 5 to go, and you gotta wonder if these cars have to pit one more time, since they pitted between laps 18 and 19, and we are on lap 37. So it seems to me that they can only go 18, 19, maybe 20 laps on fuel, so I don't know if they're going to be able to make it or not. Let's see what Mason Bromer's going to do. He's not coming down this time by, although Brody Talley is, along with Cody Lamas, Theo Stegall, among others. Second round of green flag pit stops, and there were already a lot of cars that came in. Charles Jackson was in. So I think the 11 and everybody else may come down pit road this time by or next time by. So it's going to be interesting to see who will be the leader after all this, as now here comes Burton and Bromer into pit road. And there you see Dutta, Dylan Thero, and all the other lead lap cars are in pit road. Meanwhile, Charles Jackson appeared to have been the first car out of pit road from that first set of green flag pit stops this time. There's Jackson. Mason Bromer, he is just now coming out of pit road as we go back to try to find the 16 of Jackson to continue that search. And there he is. He got around Brody Talley. Let's see where Jackson was scored. He has scored 10th. If he can get around Mason Bromer, he is going to be your new leader, Charles Jackson. But let's see where the 11 is. Ian Dutta came out second. There is Bromer. He's clearly ahead. And he's coming to the stripe to take 2 to go. 2 laps to go for the rookie Mason Bromer in the same car Jessica Shelton won the championship with in Season 1. And that 11 car, ironically, made the chase and is currently in the hunt for the championship. If he doesn't make any mistakes and have a problem and fall out of the lead, Mason Bromer's going to get his first win of his career and of the season and get the points lead as the white flag is out for the 11 team. Just keeping an eye out on Bromer. And then second is Ian Dutta, then Charles Jackson. And then I see Brody Talley in the fourth spot, battling side by side with Jekko Knight. But coming out of turn 4 for the final time, finally, Mason Bromer, after many attempts, he is going to get his first win of the season and of his career, and he's going to win it here at Kentucky. Great job by the 11 team of Bromer. What a race. No cautions came out on top of all that. But like I said, we are going to take a look at a replay to see what happened with the 17 of Dylan Thero, Seth Cole, among others, as to what happened during pit road and why some cars ended up out of the race. Well, here's a look at what happens with a first incident. As there you see Theo Segal tries to get under the commitment cone. He does in time, but look at Eric Burton as well as Justin Talampas right behind him. They try to go through the grass to come into pit road, which I have no idea what the 78 and the 55 cars were thinking right there. But let's keep an eye out on the 2. Oh, he's already got damage, so what happened to the 2 car? Oh, it looked like he got into the back of Andy Thomas. I saw rear end damage on the 66. Oh, there was a stack up. She got into Matt McIntyre, and then Dylan gets into the back of Andy Thomas, and that's what happened to the 2 and the 66. But the 66 was able to continue, but the 2 unfortunately didn't. So that was incident number 1. Incident number 2. Let's see. Oh, the same thing. Seth Cole along with this, Dylan Thero, and then all of a sudden Seth Cole starts to slide as he was getting teleported into pit road. And then Dylan Thero comes down into Austin Weiner, and that is what cost Austin Weiner the race, essentially. So that was what happened with him, but what about the 6 of David Rivera? There you see the stack up from when Seth Cole was teleporting into pit road. We're going to see it in just a moment. He teleports in, and then Rivera gets into the 41, and that's what happens to the 6 of David Rivera to put him out of the race. And that's a tough break for Rivera, who he was the points leader a few races ago, and he's had bad luck, and he's fallen from the points lead down to 8th in the points, so he's going to have to hope for a big miracle coming up at the next race. Or actually, no, he might be eliminated now from championship contention, potentially. That is a tough break for the 6 car. But anyways, let's take you to the official results. Well, here's a look at your official results. Mason Bromer picks up his first career win and his first win of the season, and he's going to get it at Kentucky, and he is going to be your new points leader as he finished ahead of Betty Johnson and Gabe Williams by a landslide. Ian Dutta comes away with a solid second place finish. Great run for him. Charles Jackson, who led a lot in the first half of the race, he's going to come away with third. This could potentially put him back up into championship contention. Brody Talley, who led for a little bit, comes away with fourth. And look at that, Gibbs, 1, 2, and 4. Great runs for Gibbs. Great day for Joe Gibbs Racing. And Jekko Knight somehow comes away with a top 5 finish of 5th place. Theo Segal gets a solid 6th place finish. Alex Pedro, solid 7th place finish. Austin Talley, who started dead last, and he finishes 8th. Great run for him, though we'll see if it puts him back into contention mathematically or not. Henrietta Fitzwater comes away with 9th, and rounding out the top 10 is her husband, Zachary Fitzwater. Great run for the Fitzwaters, both getting top 10 finishes. The rest of the top 20 was Chase Oliver, Sam Young, P.J. Williams, Ryan Anderson Jr., Parker Wright, Michael Norman, Betty Johnson, Alex Hawkins, Rue McIntyre, and Jessica Shelton. The rest of the top 30 was Danny Wells, Chris Washer, Annie Thomas, Cody Lamas, Kyle Matthews, Austin Weiner. Tough break for the 12. He was up at the front, and then that incident with Dylan Thero on pit road cost him. Sonny Hammond, Preston Plord, Matt McIntyre, Hunter Bell, Gabe Williams, Joshua Collar, Trent Dunham, Barney Taylor, and Eric Burton. And then everybody from 36 on back to 40 have finished. Dylan Thero, Ken Thero, Tommy Mooney, Justin Talampas, and Seth Cole. And then the two cars that were out of the race were David Rivera and Dylan Young. So that's going to do it for our coverage. 2 races to go, Homestead and Zenjoltas. So we still got a couple of great races left to come. Ladies and gentlemen, here is your results, rookie points, and overall point standings. Until we get to Homestead, so long, everybody.